Jai-yun Park sat on her roof, looking up at the night sky. The stars were bright over Busan tonight. At 18, she was at the top of her class in school. She loved physics and wanted to study the stars one day. One more hour, she whispered to herself. Her parents wanted her in bed by midnight. Jai-yun adjusted her small telescope and checked her watch. She had time for a few more star charts. The night was clear and quiet. Most of her neighbors were asleep. Only the distant sound of cars from the city center broke the silence. Then she saw it. A light moving too fast to be a plane. Too strange to be a shooting star. What is that? She quickly aimed her telescope toward the light. It grew bigger, brighter. It wasn't one light but many, forming a shape unlike anything she had seen before. The object slowed down directly above her building. Jai-yun's heart beat faster. She should go inside, wake her parents, call someone. But she couldn't move. The light was too beautiful, too impossible. A beam of blue light shot down from the object, surrounding Jai-yun. She felt her feet lift off the roof. Her telescope dropped with a clatter as she rose into the air. "Help!" she screamed, but no sound came out. The blue light seemed to swallow her voice. The world around her faded. The last thing she saw was her home growing smaller below her. Jai-yun woke up on a cold metal floor. Her head hurt. The air smelled strange, like nothing she knew. She opened her eyes slowly. The room was white and round with no corners. The light came from the walls themselves. There was no door that she could see. "Hello," she called out. Her voice sounded small in the strange room. Part of the wall slid open. Jai-yun backed away. A tall figure stepped into the room. It wasn't human. Its skin was pale blue. It had 2 arms and 2 legs like a human, but its head was larger. Its eyes were big and black, with no white parts. It wore something like a silver uniform. "Human female, you will come with me," it said. The voice didn't sound like it came from its mouth, but rather from inside Jai-yun's head. "Who are you? What do you want?" Jai-yun asked. She was scared but tried to stay calm. Panicking wouldn't help. "I am Officer Krell of the Taveri Exploration Fleet. You have been selected for study." Jai-yun stood up slowly. "Study? I want to go home." "That is not possible at this time." The voice said in her head. "Commander Locke wishes to see you." The creature turned and walked through the opening in the wall. Jai-yun didn't move. The creature looked back. "You will follow, or we will move you." Jai-yun took a deep breath and followed. She needed to understand what was happening. She needed to watch and learn if she wanted to get home. The hallway outside was long and curved. Other strange creatures walked past. Some looked like Officer Krell. Others were completely different. Some had 4 arms, others had skin that changed colors, and one floated rather than walked. Jai-yun felt dizzy. This wasn't a dream. She was on an alien ship, far from Earth. They stopped at a large door that slid open. Inside was a room with a window showing the stars. Earth was visible too, a blue ball that seemed so small now. At the center of the room stood a taller blue creature. Its uniform had more markings. "This is the human female we collected," Officer Krell said in Jai-yun's mind. The taller creature walked around Jai-yun, looking at her closely. "I am Commander Locke," the voice in her head said. "You are now part of the greatest collection of species in the galaxy. Your primitive world has been on our study list for some time." Jai-yun stood straight and looked directly at Commander Locke. "My name is Jai-yun Park. I am not a specimen. I want to know why you took me." Commander Locke's eyes narrowed. "Interesting. Most new specimens show more fear." "I am afraid," Jai-yun said, "but I'm also curious, and I want to go home." "Curious?" Commander Locke seemed surprised. "Perhaps you will be more interesting than the others after all." Jai-yun didn't like how he said others. Were there more humans on this ship? She needed to find out. She needed to learn everything she could. Because somehow, she was going to find a way back home. Jia Yun followed Officer Krell through more curved hallways. The ship was huge. They passed rooms filled with strange machines and screens. Some doors were clear, and she could see inside. Other doors were solid metal. They stopped at a large room that looked like a zoo. Inside were different sections separated by clear walls. Each section had a different environment. Some were hot with red sand. Others had thick green plants or blue water pools. And in each section were different aliens. "This is where you will stay," Officer Krell said in her mind. Jia Yun was led to a section that looked like a simple earth room. It had a bed, a table, and chairs. There was even a small bookshelf with earth books. The clear door closed behind her. Jia Yun touched the wall. It was solid but warm. "Hello." A young man stepped out from a side room. He looked Korean, like her. He was maybe 25 years old. "Another human," he said with a smile. "I'm Daeho Kim. Been here about 3 years now." Jia Yun felt a rush of relief. "I'm Jia Yun Park. You speak Korean." "Yes. I was taken from Seoul. The Taveri like to keep species together. Makes it easier to study us." Daeho walked to a small kitchen area. "Are you hungry?" "The food isn't bad once you get used to it." Jia Yun sat at the table. 3 years. Have you tried to escape?" Daeho laughed without humor. "We're on a ship bigger than a city, floating in space. Where would I go?" He placed a bowl of what looked like rice in front of her. "Eat, then I'll show you around." After eating, Daeho took Jia Yun on a tour of their section. There were 5 rooms in total, all made to look like Earth spaces. They were the only 2 humans there. "The Taveri think humans are interesting but primitive," Daeho explained. "We're a protected species. That means we're not advanced enough to join their Galactic Confederation." "What do they want from us?" "They study us. Sometimes they ask questions. Mostly they just watch how we behave." Daeho showed her a viewing area where they could see other alien species in their sections. Some looked almost human. Others were completely different. Floating gas clouds, giant insects, creatures made of what looked like rock. "That's a Zeltani." Daeho pointed to a tall, thin alien with 4 arms. "And those small purple ones are Nyx. They're actually quite friendly." Jia Yun noticed that all the aliens seemed to accept their place here. None were trying to escape or even looked unhappy. Later, Daeho took her to a common area where different species could meet. A clear barrier still separated each species, but they could see and communicate with each other. The Taveri guards used devices to help everyone understand each other. Jia Yun could suddenly understand the strange clicking sounds the Nyx made, and the low hums of the gas cloud creatures. As she watched the Taveri operate their technology, Jia Yun noticed something strange. Their machines glowed with blue light when active, but occasionally the light flickered. "What's wrong with their tech?" she asked Daeho quietly. "Nothing. That's just how it works." Jia Yun shook her head. "No, there's something wrong. The energy flow isn't steady." Her physics classes had taught her about energy transfer. "It's like they're using the wrong equation." Daeho looked at her strangely. "What do you mean?" Before she could answer, a human man in Taveri-style clothes approached their barrier. He wasn't in a habitat section like them. He walked freely with the Taveri. "I'm Hajun Lee," he said. "I work with the Taveri as a scientific advisor." Jia Yun was confused. "But I thought humans were considered primitive." Hajun smiled. "Most are. But some of us have skills the Taveri find useful." He looked at Jia Yun closely. "I heard you were asking questions about our technology." Jia Yun hesitated, then decided to be honest. "Their energy system is inefficient. The flow is unstable. In physics terms, they're treating energy like a constant when it's clearly variable in their system." Hajun's eyes widened. He looked around to make sure no Taveri were close, then leaned in. "You're exactly right," he whispered. "And that's the secret the Taveri don't understand. Humans can see solutions they've missed for centuries. He glanced at his watch. I need to go, but I'll find you tomorrow. We have a lot to talk about. As Hejun walked away, Jia-yun felt a mix of fear and excitement. She had noticed something important, something that might change everything. Da-ho looked worried. Be careful what you say around the Taveri. We're just specimens to them. Jia-yun nodded, but her mind was racing. If the Taveri technology had such basic flaws, what else were they missing? And how could she use this knowledge to get home? Jia-yun couldn't sleep that night. Her mind kept going back to the flickering blue light in the Taveri technology. There was something wrong with their approach to physics. It was like they had learned to build complex machines without fully understanding the basic rules. In the morning, Da-ho showed her how to use the food machine and the cleaning room. Everything was designed to look like Earth items, but they worked differently. The Taveri try to make us comfortable, Da-ho said. They're not cruel. They just don't see us as equals. After breakfast, Hejun returned as promised. This time, he had a small device that he placed on the clear wall between them. The device made a soft humming sound. Now we can talk freely, Hejun said. This blocks their listening devices. Jia-yun leaned forward. Why are you helping me? Because you saw something in one day that took me a year to notice. Hejun smiled. Let me show you something. He placed his hand on a panel, and a section of the clear wall slid open. Jia-yun was shocked. You can open our habitat. I have some privileges. Come with me, both of you. Hejun led them through the ship to a small room filled with screens and strange tools. The door closed behind them. This is my private lab. The Taveri let me work here because I helped solve their problems. Hejun turned to Jia-yun. Now tell me exactly what you noticed about their technology. Jia-yun took a deep breath. Their energy system treats power like it flows in one direction only. But I could see that it actually moves in waves. They're losing almost half their energy because of this mistake. Hejun nodded. Exactly. And do you know why they can't see this? Jia-yun thought for a moment. Because they've always done it this way. Yes, but there's more. Hejun touched a screen, and images of different alien brains appeared. The Taveri and most other species in the Confederation think in patterns. They're excellent at making small improvements to existing ideas, but they struggle with big leaps of understanding. He showed them a human brain scan next. Humans are different. Our brains make connections between unrelated ideas. We see patterns where others don't. We make intuitive leaps. Da-ho looked confused. Are you saying humans are smarter than these advanced aliens? Not smarter. Different. Hejun pointed at Jia-yun. You saw a flaw in their physics because you weren't trained in their way of thinking. Your fresh perspective let you see what they've missed for centuries. Jia-yun felt a mix of pride and disbelief. So what do we do with this knowledge? Hejun's face became serious. That's why I brought you here. I need to show you something important. He opened a secure file on his screen. It showed a Taveri ship near Earth. 3 days ago, the Taveri High Council approved a plan for Earth. They believe humans are developing too quickly. They fear that if we reach space travel on our own, we might be too unpredictable for the Confederation. Jia-yun felt cold. What are they planning? They're going to release a chemical into Earth's atmosphere. It won't kill anyone, but it will make 90% of humans unable to have children. They plan to slowly reduce the human population and keep just enough humans for their studies. Da-ho slammed his fist on the table. That's genocide. They don't see it that way, Hejun said. They see it as managing a potentially dangerous species. Jia-yun's hands were shaking. When? 3 months from now. That's why I've been looking for humans like you, people who can understand their technology well enough to help stop them. Jia-yun looked at the screens, at the alien technology all around her. Her family, her friends, everyone on Earth was in danger. What can I do? She asked. Hejun smiled grimly. Learn everything you can about their technology. Use your unique human perspective. Help me find their weaknesses. He touched another screen, showing a small ship. And maybe, just maybe, we can find a way to warn Earth. Jia-Yun nodded, new determination filling her. What had started as a personal desire to go home had just become much bigger. Now she needed to save her entire species. When do we start? She asked. Right now, Hejun replied. For the next 2 weeks, Jia-Yun spent every moment learning. Hejun taught her about Taveri ships, weapons, and the rules of space travel. She learned quickly. Daeho joined them when he could, but he didn't understand the science, as well as Jia-Yun did. You have a gift, Hejun told her one day. You see connections I miss, even after 3 years working with their technology. Jia-Yun had fixed several devices by changing their energy flow. The Taveri were impressed, but didn't understand how a primitive human could improve their technology. One morning, Jia-Yun was working in Hejun's lab when an alarm sounded. What's happening? She asked. Hejun checked his screen and went pale. They've moved up the Earth plan. They're launching the sterilization ship today. Today? But you said we had months. Something changed their minds. Hejun ran to a cabinet and pulled out 3 small devices. We need to act now. Daeho burst into the lab. Did you hear? Some humans on level 4 try to escape. The Taveri are doing a full security check. Hejun looked grim. That's why they moved up the Earth plan. They're afraid of more human resistance. He handed them each a small metal disc. Put these in your pockets. They're communication devices. Jia-Yun's heart raced. What's the plan? We need help from someone else, Hejun said. He pressed a button on his desk. A few minutes later, the door opened. A small Taveri with light blue skin entered. He looked nervous. This is Tech, Hejun said. He's an engineer who believes the Confederation's treatment of lesser species is wrong. Tech nodded. What the Council plans for Earth is against our oldest laws. But I risk much by helping you. We need to stop that ship, Jia-Yun said. And we need to escape. Tech pulled out a small device. This will get you access to the lower hangar where small research ships are kept. But the guards? I'll handle the guards, Hejun said. Jia-Yun, you've studied the ship systems. Can you fly one? Jia-Yun hesitated, then nodded. The controls follow basic patterns. I think I can. Good, Hejun said. Here's the plan. Tech will create a problem in the main power system. When the guards are busy, we'll get to the hangar. Jia-Yun will fly us out. What about the sterilization ship? Daeho asked. Jia-Yun thought for a moment. If we can access the main control room, I can use what I learned about their energy systems to disable all ships from launching. That's too dangerous, Hejun said. We don't have a choice, Jia-Yun replied. If that ship reaches Earth, billions of people will never have children. They moved quickly through the ship. Most Taveri were busy with the security alert. Tech led them to a control panel and connected a small device. This will cause the lights to go out in 30 seconds, he said. The backup systems will turn on in 2 minutes. That's all the time we have. The lights went out. In the darkness, they ran. Jia-Yun could hear Taveri shouting in confusion. They reached the main control room, which was empty due to the power failure. Jia-Yun rushed to the main console. Her hands moved quickly, applying what she had learned. Their system bases everything on that flawed energy model, she muttered. If I reverse the flow here and here. Warning lights flashed. A voice announced in multiple languages. All ship systems freezing. Launch sequence aborted. You did it, Daeho said. Not yet. Jia-Yun continued working. I'm setting the system to restart in 10 minutes. That gives us time to reach the hangar. They ran again, following Tech. The hangar was dark, lit only by emergency lights. Several small ships sat ready. That one, Tech pointed. It's a research vessel with enough fuel to reach a nearby system. They climbed aboard. Jia-Yun sat at the controls. They looked complex, but she saw the pattern in them. "Hang on," she said, and pressed what she hoped was the start button. The ship hummed to life. Outside, they could see Tavari guards entering the hangar. "Go, go," Daeho shouted. Jai-yun pressed forward on the controls. The ship rose and shot toward the open hangar doors. Tavari ships followed, firing warning shots. But Jai-yun had learned more than just basic controls. She understood the flaws in Tavari physics. She made adjustments no Tavari would think to make. Their ship moved in ways the Tavari ships couldn't match. "We're clear," Hajun shouted as they broke away from the main ship. Jai-yun set a course away from Tavari space and engaged what she hoped was the faster-than-light drive. The stars blurred around them. They had escaped. Earth was safe for now, but they were far from home, in a galaxy they barely understood. "What do we do now?" Daeho asked quietly. "We find other humans," Jai-yun said, her eyes fixed on the stars ahead. "I'm sure we're not the only ones who have escaped. And together, we'll find a way back to Earth." Their small ship traveled for 3 days. Food was running low. Jai-yun took turns with Hajun and Daeho to watch the controls. None of them knew exactly where they were going. "The ship's computer shows a small planet ahead," Jai-yun said on the 4th day. "It has air we can breathe. Can you land there?" Hajun asked. Jai-yun nodded. "I think so." She guided the ship toward the planet. It was mostly covered in blue oceans with small islands of green land. As they got closer, they saw something surprising. Structures that looked man-made. "Are those buildings?" Daeho pressed his face to the window. "Someone lives there," Hajun said. "Be careful. They might not be friendly." Jai-yun landed the ship on a flat area near one of the larger structures. It looked like a metal warehouse. They stepped out cautiously. The air was warm and smelled like salt. "Hello," Jai-yun called out. Her voice seemed small in the open space. Suddenly, people with weapons appeared from behind rocks and trees. They were human. "Don't move," a man shouted. "How did you find this place? Are there Tavari with you?" "We escaped from a Tavari ship," Hajun said. "We're looking for other humans." A tall man with short black hair stepped forward. He looked Korean, like them. "I'm Hyunwoo Choi," he said, "leader of this outpost." He studied their faces. "You really escaped on a Tavari ship. No one does that." Jai-yun pointed to their ship. "I figured out flaws in their technology. Their ships move in predictable ways because of their understanding of physics. Once I saw the pattern, I could outfly them." Hyunwoo's eyes widened. He turned to the others. "Lower your weapons. Take them inside." The warehouse was actually a disguised entrance to an underground base. As they descended, Jai-yun was amazed at what she saw. Hundreds of humans lived here, working with alien technology. Some wore uniforms with a symbol Jai-yun didn't recognize, a blue earth with a star beside it. "What is this place?" she asked. "One of 20 human resistance bases," Hyunwoo said proudly. "We have been gathering escaped humans from all over the galaxy for 15 years. Hajun looked shocked. 15 years. I thought we were the first to escape." Hyunwoo laughed. "Not even close. Humans have been taken by various alien species for centuries, but only in the last 20 years have we organized." He led them to a large room with maps of star systems on the walls. People worked at stations with both Earth and alien technology mixed together. "We have one goal," Hyunwoo continued, "to protect Earth and establish humans as equals in the galaxy." "The Tavari plan to sterilize Earth," Jai-yun said quickly. "We stopped the first attempt, but they'll try again." Hyunwoo nodded grimly. "We know. Our spies in their fleet told us. That's why your arrival is so important." He turned to Jai-yun. "You said you found flaws in their technology." "Yes. Their understanding of energy flow is wrong. They lose efficiency because of it." Hyunwoo introduced them to a man working on what looked like a Tavari weapon. "This is Sung Min Kang, our head engineer." Some men shook their hands. If you can really improve Taveri tech, you might be exactly what we've been waiting for. Over the next few days, Jai-yun worked with Sung Min. She showed him what she had learned about Taveri energy systems. Together, they modified weapons and ship parts. With Jai-yun's insights, they made the alien technology more powerful than it was designed to be. This is amazing, some men said after they doubled the power of a small engine. With modifications like these, our ships could be faster and stronger than any in the Confederation. Hyunwoo watched their progress with growing excitement. One evening, he called all 3 newcomers to his office. "I've made a decision," he said. "Jai-yun, I want you to join our research team permanently. Hajun, your knowledge of Taveri culture is valuable. And Daho, our security team could use someone with your observational skills. You want us to join the resistance?" Jai-yun asked. "Yes, we're planning something big. Something that could change everything for humans in the galaxy." Hyunwoo's eyes shone with determination. "With your help, we might finally have a chance at freedom." Jai-yun thought about her family on Earth, about all the humans who didn't even know they were in danger. She had come so far from her quiet life in Busan. Now, she had a chance to make a real difference. "I'm in," she said firmly. Hajun and Daho nodded their agreement. Hyunwoo smiled. "Then let me show you what we're really building here." Hyunwoo led Jai-yun and her friends to a large metal door at the deepest part of the base. He placed his hand on a scanner, and the door slid open. Inside was a massive underground hangar. Jai-yun gasped. 10 ships of different sizes stood in rows. They looked like alien ships, but with clear changes. "We've been collecting and modifying ships for years," Hyunwoo explained. "But with your knowledge of Taveri physics, we can make them truly special." Over the next month, Jai-yun worked harder than she ever had before. Each day, she helped Sung Min improve the ships. Her ideas about energy flow made the engines faster and the weapons stronger. The other engineers were amazed by her insights. One morning, Hyunwoo called Jai-yun to a meeting room. A woman sat at the table. She also looked Korean. "This is Mireille-yun," Hyunwoo said. "She's our lead diplomat." Mireille smiled warmly. "I've heard a lot about you, Jai-yun. Your work is impressive." "Diplomat?" Jai-yun asked. "Who do we have diplomacy with?" Mireille laughed. "The galaxy is bigger than just the Taveri. There are many species who don't agree with the Confederation's rules." She touched a screen, and images of different aliens appeared. Some Jai-yun recognized from the Taveri ship. Others were new to her. "The Norai have been especially helpful," Mireille continued, pointing to a tall, slender alien with golden skin. "They were once a proud species with their own empire. Now the Confederation treats them as second-class citizens. Like they treat humans," Jai-yun said. "Exactly. And there are others. The Vex, the Katori, the Lumi. All species who have suffered under Confederation rule." Hyunwoo leaned forward. "We're building an alliance, Jai-yun. Not just humans, but all the species who want freedom and equal treatment." "But the Confederation is huge," Jai-yun said. "How can we stand against them?" Mireille smiled. "With your help, we might have a chance. Your modifications to our ships give us an advantage they won't expect." The next day, Mireille took Jai-yun on her first diplomatic mission. They traveled in a small, fast ship to a nearby moon. There, in a hidden base much like their own, Jai-yun met the Norai for the first time. The alien was tall, nearly 7 feet, with golden skin that seemed to glow from within. It had 4 eyes, 2 large ones and 2 smaller ones above them. "I am Sel, leader of the Norai resistance," the alien said. Its voice was musical, like singing. "I'm Jai-yun Park. I recently escaped from a Taveri ship." Sel's 4 eyes blinked in surprise. "You escaped the Taveri? Few have managed that." Mireille stepped forward. "Jai-yun has special knowledge of Taveri technology. She's helping us improve our ships. Cell studied Jai-Yun closely. The humans continue to surprise us. Your species is young, yet you see things differently than those who have traveled the stars for thousands of years. Jai-Yun spent the day showing Cell what she had learned about Taveri physics. The Norai leader understood quickly. Your insights could help more than just our ships, Cell said. With this knowledge, we could disrupt Taveri communications, their weapons, even their protective shields. When they returned to the human base, Jai-Yun felt a new sense of purpose. They weren't just hiding and surviving. They were building something important. 2 weeks later, representatives from 5 different alien species gathered at the human base. Jai-Yun watched as Mi-Ray led the meeting. Despite being one of the youngest species present, humans were taking the lead. Together, we are stronger than any of us alone, Mi-Ray told the group. The Confederation has kept us divided, telling each of us that we're not advanced enough, not worthy enough. A small blue alien spoke up. But what can we do? The Confederation has thousands of ships. Jai-Yun stepped forward. We don't need thousands. We need better ships, smarter tactics. She showed them the modifications she and Sungmin had made. Their technology has weaknesses they don't even know about. The aliens murmured among themselves. Finally, Cell stood. The Norai will join this alliance, the golden alien announced. One by one, the other species agreed. That night, as Jai-Yun looked at the stars from a window, Mi-Ray joined her. You did well today, Mi-Ray said. You gave them hope. Will it be enough? Jai-Yun asked. Who knows? But for the first time since I joined the resistance, I believe we have a real chance. Mi-Ray placed a hand on Jai-Yun's shoulder. The alliance is forming. And soon, we'll show the Confederation that humans and our friends deserve respect. Jai-Yun nodded. From abducted student to key member of an interspecies alliance, her journey was far from over. 3 months passed. The alliance grew stronger each day. Ships from different species came to the human base, where Jai-Yun and Sungmin helped modify them. The fleet now had 30 ships, each faster and more powerful than standard Confederation vessels. We have news, Hyunwoo said. The Confederation Council is meeting in 1 week at their main station. All major species will be there. Jai-Yun felt a chill at the name. Commander Locke, the one who had called her a specimen when she was first captured. Why is this important to us? Asked Cell, the Norai leader. Mi-Ray stood up. Because this is our chance to be heard. If we can appear before the full council, we can demand recognition for all our species. They won't listen, a small blue alien said. They never do. They will this time, Jai-Yun said firmly, because we'll show them something they can't ignore. She explained her plan. Using everything she had learned about Taveri technology, she had designed a device that could temporarily disable any ship or station using Confederation systems. It wouldn't hurt anyone, but it would show their power. With this, we can appear before them as equals, not as beggars, she finished. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Hyunwoo spoke. It's risky. If we fail, they'll hunt us all down. If we do nothing, they'll still hunt us down, Jai-Yun replied. And they'll sterilize Earth. We need to act now. After much debate, they agreed. The alliance would send 5 ships to the council meeting. Hyunwoo would lead the mission, with Jai-Yun, Mi-Ray, and Cell as representatives. The day arrived. Jai-Yun stood on the bridge of their largest ship, watching the stars. Their small fleet moved quietly toward the massive Confederation station. It was shaped like a wheel, with ships docked all around it. They'd spotted us, Hajun reported from the communication station. They're ordering us to identify ourselves. Tell them we are the Free Species Alliance, Hyunwoo said. We request an audience with the council. They're refusing, Hajun said after a moment. They're ordering us to leave or be destroyed. Jai-Yun nodded to Sungmin. Now, Sungmin activated the device Jai-Yun had built. A pulse of energy shot from their ship. It hit the station, and all its lights flickered. The ships docked there also dimmed. Their power systems are confused. Some men reported, just like you said, they can't fire weapons or raise shields. Now send the message again, Hyunwoo ordered. This time, the response was different. They were permitted to dock, one ship only. Jae-yun, Hyunwoo, Mi-rae, and Sel boarded a small shuttle. As they approached the station, Jae-yun's heart pounded. Just months ago, she had been a student in Busan. Now she was representing humanity before the galaxy's ruling body. The council chamber was huge. Representatives from 20 major species sat in a circle. They stared as the small group entered. Many looked angry. Some seemed curious. At the center was Commander Locke. His black eyes widened when he saw Jae-yun. "The specimen," he said. "You escaped." "My name is Jae-yun Park," she said clearly. "And I am not a specimen. I represent humanity." A tall, red alien stood. "This is outrageous. Humans are not recognized by the Confederation. And you attacked this station." "We disabled it temporarily," Jae-yun corrected. "No one was hurt. We simply needed you to listen." Mi-rae stepped forward. "We come before you as the Free Species Alliance. We demand recognition and equal treatment for all intelligent species." The council members laughed. "You dare to make demands?" one asked. Jae-yun pulled out a small device. "This contains evidence of our capabilities." She connected it to the central display. Images appeared, modified ships, new technology, and most importantly, the math showing the flaws in Confederation physics. "Your technology is built on incomplete understanding," Jae-yun explained. "We found ways to improve it by 60% or more. This is what you lose by dismissing species like ours." The laughter stopped. The council members studied the data with growing concern. Commander Locke stood. "This is impossible. A primitive species cannot." "We did," Jae-yun interrupted, "and we're not primitive. We're different. We see patterns you miss. We make connections you don't." The council chamber erupted in argument. Some members were outraged. Others seemed thoughtful. Finally, one older alien raised a hand for silence. "This council will consider your evidence. Until then, you will remain here as our guests." As they were led away, Jae-yun caught Commander Locke's eye. The Taveri leader looked shaken. "They're afraid," Mi-rae whispered. "You showed them something they can't explain." "Will it be enough?" Jae-yun asked. Hyunwoo's face was grim. "Either way, there's no going back now. The confrontation has begun." Jae-yun and the others were kept in large rooms on the station. They were comfortable but guarded. 3 days passed with no word from the council. "They're stalling," Hyunwoo said, "giving themselves time to prepare." On the 4th day, alarms sounded throughout the station. The door to their room slid open. Hajun stood there, breathing hard. "We need to go. Now," he shouted. The council voted. "Most of them want to make an example of us." "What about our ships?" Mi-rae asked as they ran down the hallway. Sel got word to them. "They're coming to get us." They reached a docking area just as shooting started. Guards fired at them. Hajun pulled out a small weapon and fired back. A familiar face appeared. Daho, leading a group of humans, and Arai from one of their ships. "This way," he called. They fought their way to the ship. Once inside, some men took the controls. The ship broke away from the station as larger Confederation vessels moved to stop them. "They're all around us," some men reported. Jae-yun moved to the control panel. "Use the modified engines. Pattern Delta." The ship shot forward at a speed the Confederation ships couldn't match. They escaped, rejoining the rest of their small fleet hiding behind a nearby moon. "What happened?" Jae-yun asked Hajun. The council was split. Some, like the Exor Inventari, wanted to hear more from us. But the Taveri and their allies convinced the majority that we're dangerous rebels who must be stopped. Hajun looked grim. They've declared war on the Alliance. War. Jia felt cold. But we're so few against their entire fleet. We have advantages they don't understand, said a new voice. A man entered the bridge. He was older, with short gray hair. This is Jun-Ho Park. Hyunwoo introduced him. Our tactical leader. Jun-Ho nodded to Jia. Your work on the ships has given us speed and power they don't expect. And I've studied Earth's military history. The Confederation fights in orderly patterns. We won't. Messages came in from their bases. The Confederation was already attacking Alliance outposts across 3 star systems. We need to fight back, Hyunwoo decided. Show them we're stronger than they think. Jun-Ho outlined his plan. Instead of meeting the Confederation's large fleets directly, they would use small, fast ships to strike and retreat. They would target supply lines and communication centers rather than military bases. They expect us to fight like them, Jun-Ho explained. When we don't, it will confuse them. The war began. Jia worked constantly, improving their ships and developing new devices to disrupt Confederation technology. Each week brought news of battles. Sometimes they won, sometimes they lost, but they survived. 1 month into the war, Jia made a breakthrough. She created a device that could briefly redirect a Confederation ship's own energy against it. It won't destroy them, she explained to the others, but it will disable any ship for about 5 minutes. 5 minutes is all we need, Jun-Ho said. They planned their biggest attack yet, on a Taveri armada heading to attack their main base. 10 Alliance ships against 100 Confederation vessels. The odds seemed impossible. Jia insisted on going. My device needs to be adjusted during battle. I'm the only one who can do it. Hyunwoo assigned her to the lead ship. As they approached the Taveri fleet, Jia felt strangely calm. She had come so far from the scared girl who was abducted. Now she was helping save not just Earth, but many species. The battle began. The huge Taveri ships fired on them. The Alliance ships moved in strange patterns that the Taveri couldn't predict. Using Jun-Ho's tactics and Jia's modified engines, they dodged most attacks. Ready the device, Jun-Ho ordered. Jia activated her creation. A wave of energy shot out, washing over the Taveri ships. Their lights flickered, then went dark. Now, Jun-Ho commanded. The Alliance ships darted among the disabled Taveri vessels, targeting engines and weapons. When the Confederation ships came back online 5 minutes later, a third of their fleet was crippled. The remaining Taveri ships tried to regroup, but the Alliance hit them with the device again. And again. By the third strike, the mighty armada was in chaos. Ships crashed into each other. Some fled. They're retreating. Someone shouted. Jia watched in amazement. They had defeated a force 10 times their size. Word of the victory spread quickly across the galaxy. More planets and species joined the Alliance. The Confederation Council was in turmoil, with some members calling for peace talks. This isn't over, Hyunwoo warned. But today we showed them that the age of treating humans and other species as inferiors is ending. Jia nodded. The war would continue, but today had changed everything. Today, humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage. The war lasted 6 months. The Alliance grew stronger with each victory. Many worlds that had been neutral joined their side. Some Confederation members even switched allegiance. The day that changed everything came when the Alliance captured a major Confederation shipyard. With it came access to build larger vessels and advanced technology that Jia could modify. The Taveri are calling for peace talks, Mayray announced one morning. They've admitted they can't win this war. The Alliance leaders gathered to discuss the offer. Some wanted to continue fighting until they had complete victory. Others thought peace was the wiser path. What do you think, Jia? Hyunwoo asked. Everyone turned to her. In the months of war, the girl from Busan had become one of their most respected leaders. We started this to gain recognition and protect Earth, Jia said. not to destroy the Confederation. If they're ready to talk as equals, we should listen. The peace conference was set on a neutral planet. Jai-Yun was chosen as the lead representative for humans, while Cell would speak for the other Alliance species. The Tavari sent Commander Locke, now humbled by defeat. The meeting hall was grand, with seats arranged in a circle so no species sat above others. Jai-Yun wore a simple blue uniform with the Alliance emblem, a star with many points, each representing a member species. 1 year ago, I was a student on Earth, Jai-Yun thought as she took her seat. Now I'm helping shape the future of the galaxy. Commander Locke spoke first. The Confederation recognizes that our treatment of younger species was flawed. We propose a new galactic organization where all intelligent species have equal voice. Negotiations lasted 3 days. The Confederation wanted to maintain some of their authority. The Alliance demanded true equality. Jai-Yun showed wisdom beyond her years, finding compromise when talks became heated. On the final day, they reached agreement. The Galactic Confederation would be dissolved. In its place would rise the Galactic Union, a new government where all species had equal representation. And what of Earth? Jai-Yun asked. Will you recognize humanity's right to join galactic society? Yes. Commander Locke agreed. Earth will be invited to join the Union as a full member. The treaty was signed. Celebrations erupted across Alliance worlds. After centuries of being treated as lesser beings, many species finally had recognition. A month later, Jai-Yun stood in a new chamber built specifically for the Galactic Union Council. Representatives from 50 species gathered for the first meeting. Some had been enemies just weeks before. Now they sat together, ready to build a new future. We must select a High Council to lead the Union, an Elder Venturi announced. 5 members who will guide our first steps. Names were put forward from many species. When voting finished, Jai-Yun was shocked to hear her own name called. She had been elected as the human representative to the High Council, the youngest member ever to serve. As she took her place with the other 4 council members, Jai-Yun thought about her journey. From captured specimen to galactic leader, from frightened girl to respected diplomat. High Counselor Jai-Yun, Cell said, now representing the Narai on the council. What are your thoughts on our first priority? Jai-Yun looked out at the gathered representatives. We should establish contact with Earth officially. Share knowledge carefully. Help them prepare to join us. You could return home, Commander Locke noted. He now served as an advisor to the council. After all this time, Jai-Yun smiled. Earth is my homeland, but my work is here now. Humans have unique gifts to offer the galaxy, and other species have much to teach us. That evening, Jai-Yun stood alone by a large window in the council tower. She could see ships from dozens of worlds moving peacefully through space. In the distance, she could just make out a small blue dot. Earth. Hyun-Woo joined her. When we first met, did you ever imagine this? Jai-Yun shook her head. Never. I just wanted to go home. And now? Now I see the humans have a bigger home than we ever realized. The whole galaxy can be ours, not to conquer, but to join. Hyun-Woo nodded. From a girl looking at stars from her roof in Busan to High Counselor of the Galactic Union. Quite a journey. Jai-Yun smiled. It's only beginning. We have so much to learn, so much to share. The union of all these different minds and perspectives. Imagine what we'll create together. As new stars appeared in the viewport, Jai-Yun felt a sense of peace. Her unexpected journey had changed not just her life, but the course of human history. And somewhere on Earth, another young person was looking up at the stars, not yet knowing the wonders waiting among them. The future was bright, and it belonged to all species together.